Greetings, cinephiles and cineasts of YouTube. I'm going to talk about another Netflix original, 1922.
1922. A man's pride was a man's land. And so was his son. My wife. She wanted us to leave all this behind.
We can move.
Our cities are for fools.
We divorce. We both know that's what you want. Life is rarely fair, especially out here.
And I believe that there's another man inside every man. A conniving man.
I'm gonna sell. You, my son, are coming with me.
This is our house. In 1922, I murdered my wife. Want a glass of lemonade, Sheriff?
Could I look in the house?
She only took the one suitcase.
Woman have to be crazy to leave a nice house like this one.
The longing here for you. I'm living in a kind of daydream.
You touched me!
I'm happy as a king.
You cursed it all!
I see your face.
I hope there is no God, because if there is no heaven,
Your eyes are
then there is no hell.
This is yet another Stephen King adaptation. I think this is the 70th, or right around 70. And the funny thing is, I think this is my 21st or 22nd movie review video. And already, I've done 3 now. 3 Stephen King movies. It, Gerald's Game, and now 1922. I can't remember the name of the fictional town that this takes place in, but it's in the Midwest someplace, a small farm town. And apparently it is the same setting as The Stand, or the setting is in The Stand. It's the story of a farmer, his wife, and his teenage son. The wife inherited land from her father, and the husband, played by Thomas Jane, and this is his 3rd Stephen King film. He also did The Mist and Dreamcatcher. Thomas Jane wants to farm, and he wants to add his wife's land that she's inherited from her father to his farm. She wants to sell it to a development company, take the money, and move to the big city and open a dress shop. And she's adamant about this, and that's what she is going to do. And he is adamant about staying on the farm. What happens is Thomas Jane's character, the husband, decides that he has to get rid of his wife. And he talks his teenage son into helping him get rid of his wife. This is where all the trouble starts, because that's what they do. They eliminate her, and that sets the whole ball of wax, or whole snowball, into motion. This is classified as a horror crime drama on IMDb, and I think that's a pretty accurate description, because it's a Stephen King story, so automatically you assume that it's going to be horror, and there are horror elements in it, but it's not scary. There's a little bit of scary in it. It's mostly macabre. There's some gross things. There's some intense but quick, violent things, and some reanimated dead bodies that come back to haunt the protagonist of the movie, which is pretty standard in a lot of Stephen King stories. Basically, it's a story of Thomas Jane's life falling apart after he makes the decision to get rid of his wife, and set in 1922 in, I think, Nebraska or someplace in the Middle West. And I love period pieces because this little town that it's set in, they show a good portion of it, and I love whenever they show in a movie the way America looked back in the old days. I can only give this movie a thumb and a half. Like I said, it's classified on IMDb as horror, drama, and crime, and it is all those things. But it bounces around from one to the other, and you're never sure which one it's going to be or should be or wants to be. But it's a cool story. It's a Stephen King story, so it's pretty decent. It's worth a watch, but I can't totally recommend it. The director, who also wrote the screenplay for the movie, adapted Stephen King's novella, he did a really great end of the world, like an Australian apocalypse movie called These Final Hours a couple years ago, and that's available on Netflix as well. You can stream that as well. I recommend that. I give that movie 2 thumbs up, but this one, thumb and a half. It's good. Thomas Jane gives a great performance. Kind of reminds me of Tom Hardy doing Lawless. If you've seen Lawless and Tom Hardy's character in Lawless, Thomas Jane does a really great job playing this dirt farmer, and his performance is excellent. Everybody that's in the movie is excellent. It's just kind of all over the place as far as what it wants to be. It never really makes up its mind. One more thing before I let you go. If you're an amateur filmmaker, like to make shorts for the internet here on YouTube or Vimeo or wherever else, and you'd like it reviewed, please send it to me. I would love to review it. I'll give you a fair and honest and critical but not mean-spirited review. You can see some of my short films here on my channel, Savage Tales of Van Helmont, and a couple other things I've done, all of which are low, no budget, just using my friends and a little bit of spare time that we all have together. So I know what it's like to not have time or money or resources to make a big Hollywood production and just want to make something. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, my name is Bill Robertson, and I'll see you next time.